Good afternoon. Today is the 19th of June and it's almost 4 years since I bought this 2019 SsangYong Tivoli 1.6 Ultimate. Yes, I am a long way from the curb. I'm not wanting to damage these alloy wheels beyond what they've already been done. So we've had this car since I think 14th of July 2020 is when we bought it. So we are a little bit short of 4 years, but I hope you'll forgive me for that. Also forgive me for this really noisy road I'm sort of beside. That's the only chance I've got really this week to film this, so I'm just going to have to do. Somehow over 40,000 miles we've had this car, it's actually held up quite well. There are some sort of little marks on there. I don't know how actually this occurred. We've had some damage repaired on this already. That I'm not sure where that came from. The only MOT advisory we've ever had on this car was for the wheels, and it's quite common apparently, not just on SsangYongs but on other types of car like this, to have the wheels go slightly misshapen, and that's some advisory that we got, which is a shame. You can still buy a brand new Tivoli, although it's called a KGM Tivoli these days. The name of the company changed in January 2024, although for some reason the logo is still on the steering wheel on the KGM ones. I have actually filmed a KGM Tivoli, sort of the first ones in the country actually, which was in September 2023. So you can still buy a car a bit like this, although there's been 2 facelifts since this car was made in 2019. And we got this when it was 10 months old and had 6,000 miles on the clock. We'll have a look at the boot first. The Ultimate, by the way, was the top of the range car in 2019, although all the trim levels have been sort of renamed since. One thing I don't like about this car is actually the really high boot lip. Now, some of these you could get with a sort of adjustable high boot floor. This car doesn't have that. It's just got a normal one. And yes, the low blind is missing because I still haven't got round to fixing it. They're £120 second hand actually if you do break them, and ours has been partially repaired because I damaged it, but I need to fix that at some point. The reason I broke it was because you can adjust the position of the rear seats. You can leave them there or you can put them down a bit, and I was putting it back and just snapped it, so that wasn't very good. The boot's about 400 litres or so without the sort of floor in place. The floor at the bottom is a little bit flimsy. Excuse all this stuff in here. This is a car that my lady wife normally drives. There is the spare wheel. The actual floor down here is a little bit flimsy. I don't particularly like that. What I do like are these little funny bungee cords in the boot. And the fact we've got a 12-volt socket in here and some little hooks for putting bags on, which have all been useful over the course of a long time. Also useful are the parking sensors, which are all round on this car, and also the reversing camera, which has saved me on multiple occasions. We'll get in the back now. It's a very, very large door for the size of the car, and actually it's very easy to get in and out. No problem. Shut the door. Probably a bit quieter in here now. One thing that's really weird about this car, you don't just get the bungee cords in the boot, you get the bungee cords here as well. And for some reason, at some point, one of them has gone missing. We don't quite know what's happened to it, but there we go. I'm sure we could probably improvise something if we were bothered about it. You can see here we've got huge, huge rear door bins. And something else you'll notice is it's quite dark in here because you've got this dark interior, and windows aren't particularly big. They've actually got privacy glass on them, this Ultimate trim. Although you do get other things like a rear courtesy light. You also get a very nice centre armrest. And these were not things that were available on the main rival for this car at the time, which was the MG ZS, which has been changed a bit since then, as is this, but there are a few things on those you don't get, which you do get on one of these. Centre cubby there, we'll have a look at that. Electric windows all round, of course. But it is just a little bit dark in here, although the headlining is a light one. You could have done, to be honest, with the sunroof, but I don't think you could ever get a Tivoli with a sunroof in this country, which is a bit of a shame, really. Not even on the KGM ones. So very easy to get in and out. Keyless entry, and then all sorts of other equipment that this car had for its list price of around £19,000 when it was new in 2019, because nobody would have paid that back in the day for one of these. Got a 6-speed manual in this one, which is a petrol engine. There was also one with an engine we can't talk about available. Both SsangYong's own engines. We've got all kind of stuff in here. So if I just switch it on, the button is just here. We kind of see, the logo there. If I press it again, you'll see the sort of dials, which are, let's turn that classic FM off. The dials in here did a little sweep. You can actually change the colour of the dials for sort of various things. So if I do that, you can see they go blue, which I've actually configured myself, so I know when the lights turn on, because it's got automatic lights and automatic wipers in this car. Got cruise control. There are all the buttons for the trip computer that you kind of see, like, average MPG, things like that. Tyre pressure monitoring, etc, etc, etc. We're actually getting at the moment 44.5 miles per gallon. It was actually 47 the other day. We did a sort of 800 mile, no, sorry, 400 mile round trip it was we did this, and it was fine, as it always is. So there we go, hill descent control in there. Other things as well, we've got a heated steering wheel, you've got 3-mode steering. I think I can change it whilst the engine's off. Yeah, sport, do not put it in comfort, because it feels like the wheels aren't even connected to the car. My lady wife likes driving it like that, but I don't. Simple as that, I don't like doing it. They're keeping assistance as well. You can turn all this off if you want to, because we've got a physical button for doing so. The centre of the screen in here is not that big, it's about 7 inches in this 2019 car. The earlier one's got an even worse screen than this, actually. When the Ultimate was introduced in 2018 as a trim level above the e-LX, it was a previous top of the range, you got more stuff. If I just press this button again, you'll turn off, but we'll do this now. There we go, we can get more things lighting up. We can turn this on, which is the very strange looking climate control system. It's got dual zone climate control. It looks a little bit weird and complicated, but actually that's the fan speed there. These are the temperature controls here. That's the mode for adjusting the airflow, and that's dual mode or single mode. It's not actually that complicated, it looks a bit weird. Also weird is this little slot here, which we think was inspired by the 1965 spoof Bond film called Licensed to Kill, not Licensed to Kill, Licensed to Kill, also known as the second best secret agent of the whole wide world, starring Tom Adams and directed by Lindsay Shonteff. In that film, Tom Adams as Charles Vine, not James Bond, Charles Vine, uses a Mauser gun, which is very similar in shape to this slot in the dashboard. I can't actually put any clips or any images of that in there, because that would actually be leading to my channel being demonetized. YouTube would be really funny about that kind of stuff. So I'll put a link to a clip from that film showing the Mauser in the description below, because I'm not really allowed to sort of show that. The glove box is huge. The post facelift ones, the first facelift was in 2020, actually have a smaller glove box than this. We don't have the gun holder shelf. You also get other stuff in here. You get a huge sort of central thing that apparently holds a first generation iPad. You can tell the sort of era this car was designed in. They came out in 2015, although you can still buy a brand new one if you want. Even larger door pockets. That one there will hold a 1.5 litre bottle of water, which is brilliant. One thing I don't like about this car though, with these switches, they feel so horribly cheap. The rest of it's actually not too bad. It's literally just that. And the squishy stuff on the dash is only here and sort of here. It's not there or there. It's here and there, which is really odd. And you don't get any soft touch plastic on top of the door. But to be honest, when this car was 10 months old, we bought it, it was only £13,800 from the dealer. And I think this car's probably still worth 8,000 to 9,000, something like that, which, isn't too bad because we've had it 4 years. So that's all right. Heated seats down here, 2, for some reason, 12-volt sockets. I don't know why you need 2. Cup holder down there, one's in the doors, and a normal handbrake, thank goodness. I'm very fond of normal handbrakes indeed. Right, I suppose we better have a look at the engine. Actually, we'll just show you this system here. You can do various things on here if you want to change modes. You've got Apple CarPlay, Android Auto on this, which is one of the reasons why I bought the car, actually, because we had that. The sat-nav on here is all right. It's a TomTom system, but it's just not as good as Android Auto. So, it's just the way that things are. Yeah, USB and aux connected heated seat controls. Some of these actually have ventilated seats or something like that. This one doesn't have that. It doesn't have start stop either, which is weird, but it does say goodbye to you like this, which is pleasant. Anyway, let's go outside. It might be a bit noisy, and we'll just take a look at the engine. So this is a 1.6 litre normally aspirated petrol engine. That's about 125 horsepower. It's SsangYong's own engine. There isn't anything else that's related to it, and this particular engine is still used in some markets for this car, but not over here. We only get a 1.5 turbo petrol now. There was briefly a 1.2 3-cylinder available as well after 2020, but that's not sold anymore. Very, very easy engine to work on. You can see the oil filters just here, and there's no, I don't think there's even a variable valve timing system. This might be, but I don't think there is. There's no turbo or anything. It's actually pretty easy to service and things. We get the car serviced independently, and you are allowed to do that as long as you use a VAT registered garage, which we do, because that saves on labour charges. But also, you've got to bear in mind as well that SsangYong don't really want you to do that. It's against the law to not sell people parts if they want to have the car serviced by an independent dealership, an independent garage, as long as it's very registered. But they still restrict the supply of the SsangYong genuine parts to their own dealers, which is, I think, not very good. Or I should say KGM, shouldn't I? Because that's what the company's called now. But we just get, as far as we can, as close to OEM as possible. The oil filter, for example, here is exactly the same as the normal one. The SsangYong dealership, it just doesn't have a SsangYong logo on it. They're exactly the same, part numbers are similar too. But yeah, no real problems sort of under here, apart from the clutch slave cylinder, which failed at 14,000 miles in 2021. Apart from that, we've had no problems, and that was covered under the 7-year warranty that these cars came at the time. 7 years and 150,000 miles was like the best warranty you could get on any car, I think, at the time. They don't do that anymore in petrol SsangYong. I think it's 5 years under KGM for the petrol ones. The electric ones are 7 years though still. I think it looks okay. The facelift ones do look a bit different from this, but they're not that different really. The unusual car, you don't see many of these really, but we've got no plans to change it particularly. We've got 2 years warranty left on it anyway, so there you go. Right, let's shut the bonnet and we'll draw some conclusions then. So really, apart from that issue with the clutch slave cylinder, the car's alright. The suspension on this pre-facelift car is a little bit hard. It's also due to these big wheels, I think. The 2020 onwards cars, they do drive it better, they handle us better as well. I mean, you can put the steering in sport mode, but it just means that you feel a bit more connected, although it's not a real connection, is it? It's an electronic system. Yeah, so gearbox, not the best I've ever used. The automatic ones are more popular than the manual Tivolis. But yeah, I mean, I like manuals and I like saving a bit of fuel, so there we go. But yeah, we're just going to keep it. Got it from Platinum SsangYong, Platinum KGM now in Frome, and there's not really much more to say. We'd use this as a everyday straight long distance car a lot of the time, and my lady drives it more than I do, I think, these days. But that's it really. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave a comment below, and we shall see you again soon for more, well, not particularly great videos in this instance.